Hello,
Woolie, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? What's happening? Why are you at a slightly different angle?
because I'm at a slightly different angle.
It's like up now.
Up and away to a
Is it
different
away?
location.
Oh, okay. Wait, different location.
Yeah, I moved.
Ah, good for you.
Hi,
You're not in a different country, are you?
I'm in parts unknown. I bought a
Okay.
house.
Congrats. Hey, let me text Paige. I'm gonna tell her. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. Good for you. I
Thank
was
you.
wondering why your diabetes scientist had to take up a whole week last week.
Well,
I
it's
was
still.
wondering what kind of tubes they were shoving in your ass that were going to take a whole week.
I mean, it's still. They still did shove tubes, and there still was a whole lot of scientist diabetesing simultaneously. But in addition to that, yeah, uh, I,
It is a crying goddamn shame that this did not align with the 1st of April.
it could have.
That
It
would have
very well
that would
could
have
have been.
had so much bonus confusion.
Yes, that is true. But it feels as if it was not meant to be. And besides, it seems as if Sega already crushed it on April 1st.
Oh, yeah,
So,
we'll be talking about that
yeah.
in the relatively shortly.
Yeah.
How was the move? I hope not nearly as arduous as mine.
No, it was excellent. Thanks to the good old folks at Bust a
I
Move.
I knew you were gonna say it as soon as you open your dude. I wish. I was so mad that I couldn't use Bust a Move to move out to British Columbia.
Yeah. No, they're not only they're the best, and not only are they still the best since we first started talking about them and word of mouthing, but they're so good now that the realtor that helped me buy the house was like, "Oh, by the way, if you're gonna move, I know a great company. They're called
And
Bust
you
a
were like, oh
Move."
yeah, oh
Yeah,
do you?
yeah, and he's like, "Bust a Move," and I'm like, "Mother." Word has spread. They're out there. So no, they're still the best at what they do.
They're
And
the
they
best.
yeah, and they're way bigger now, and there's more folks. And but they did an impeccable job nonetheless. And nothing's worse for wear. Everything was done smoothly, and as you can see, it's
It's
intact.
where it needs to be.
And that thing ain't busted behind me. It's working.
Hey, I can
So
see that it's working.
you can see that
That's
it's
a
working.
miracle.
Yeah, they
How
did
could
not.
how could you move an arcade cabinet and it
He.
still be working?
It's kind of like if you don't drop it on the stairs, then it might still work when it gets
It
to its
might.
location. It's kind of crazy, right? How that works. But yeah. So they did it, and overall pretty pain free. Um, and yeah, it was one of those bits where you know, you always swear to yourself, you're like, okay, this time around, I have become uh so like I don't own. You're kind of like I've gotten rid of most of my stuff. Slash, I can get rid of most of my stuff. I'm gonna throw away
Yeah.
like half of what I own, and then I'm staring longingly at my Samurai Champloo wall scroll, going, "When are you gonna put this up? You're not gonna put this up." But I can't. I can't let go. It hurts. It hurts. I thought I
Yeah,
keep thinking I'm not materialistic to these things, and then I get rid of things, but then there's still shit that I'm like, oh,
like I'm not materialistic, and I had the opposite problem where I was like, well, don't need any of this, and the wife was like, you can't throw that away, that thing's cool, and I'm like, but then I don't have to pack it.
yes, exactly, exactly. And I still maintain that each time I've moved, I've thrown away at minimum 40%. I've gotten rid of, donated, handed off, given away at least that many, you know? But there's always just like the things that I'm like, man, how many boxes, how many times am I going to move this box full of Beast Wars Transformers toys with my fucking Dino Megatron? And I'm like,
Woolie,
as many as it takes, because I can't get rid of it. It's coming with me forever.
There's a bright yellow cardboard box sitting in my closet right now that has a bunch of books I read as a kid. And that box has never been unpacked. And it has followed me through 4 moves from my parents' house. And every time it's like, time to toss it, I'm like, I don't want to toss all these Goosebumps.
Can't do it.
Man.
Can't do it. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of also said, there's a bunch of things where I said, okay, you're on probation. Like, you're coming with, and then when I look at you in the box in storage, if I don't feel it, then you're gone. But I'm going to take you with for now and decide at the other end, which is really just, you know, it's an option select. You're buying yourself time. You really got to just like...
And then you're just going to do nothing with it once it gets there. And you're going to be like, why did I pay the whatever it was to ship this box that will never be opened?
Yeah. No, it's rough, man. I mean, look, I'm looking, I only brought 3 Dreamcasts.
Only 3 Dreamcasts? Oh my goodness gracious.
Only 3, right? The others have since gone into states of disrepair, and they're no longer useful. So now I just have the normal working one, the one that I fixed that still is decent to get to somebody, and then one that uses a SD card, which is modified. You know, a special Hello Kitty version. So, you know, yeah. At the same time, like, there were no fewer than 12 sticks.
Yeah.
And I definitely had the guts and pieces, because I had literally a workshop for building sticks, you know?
Right.
That has had to go, obviously. I kept the tools. I still have a drill press that's fucking awesome. But packing 12 sticks sucks because the stick sticks up and they don't stack on each other. And the whole thing's, it's awful, right? So I'm like, okay, like what's going to make the cut? What's coming with? And like most of them had to go. But the stuff that I couldn't get rid of is like, I'm like, well, the stuff that I made personally, where I'm like, well, this is my handmade thing. Like like my favorite of my customs is still with me. And then like, there was a KI stick and I think a TE2 that were being used behind my couch as like levelers at a point for the last couch I had. And, you know, those are still around because, I mean, I might grab the parts out of them or something. But anyway, I think I've gotten 6 sticks. And then there's a hitbox and a mix box. So that's it.
I ended up going through a bunch of sticks. I had like 6 sticks total when I moved. And it was like all sticks that had still come with since like the old office, like the ones that I had left there. And so I'm like, okay, I have like 4 that I don't need. Let's plug them in. Okay, well that's an Xbox 360 stick. Don't fucking need that one again.
Right.
That one's broken. That one has a busted button. This one's good. I'll give that one away.
Yeah. I found what I kept was a garbage bag full of PlayStation 1 controllers that were like great for stick conversions and things like that. Anyways, a lot of that just out the window it goes. The thing that's real rough too is like what I did at the last place was I had a lot of my I used to have a wall of posters behind me back at the old
I remember
apartment
that.
we recorded at. And what I kind of switched that over to was just like pick your favorites, frame them, and there will be fewer, but they'll be classy, and you know it'll be a little more of a shared space with obviously my wife, and we can enjoy a nicer presentation of a fewer things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, and I kind of like I got rid of a lot of the old stuff, the old posters and shit that ripped and wasn't in good quality. But there's still just like there's stuff that's like there's like a good number of awesome prints that I got from like cons and like custom things and stuff like that, where I'm like, man, this is not the right size to put anywhere, and it doesn't fit into the full framed movie poster sized thing. So there's just nowhere for it to go, but you can't get rid of it. You can't. It's a super nice like custom print thing. So I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna have like almost like a stack or like a binder for looking at these things, but that's the best I can really do. Like there's some kinds of like smaller figures and smaller things where I'm like the space for this just doesn't. There's nowhere for me to put it. I'm only dealing in a few things that I really like.
Yeah.
And the small things are just going to have to go away, So quality over quantity, once again.
So are you like, so back at the old place, you had like a special little podcast nook, I guess you would call it. And then you have the place where you and Reggie would hang out and do couch stuff. Are you in that spot right now?
Well, actually, I am in that spot, and I'm taking the opportunity to refine the setup, of course. So I'm in a space where both things are going to be able. This podcast happens here, and the couch
and then it just move over a little bit
over there. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the beauty of redesigning the setup and taking everything into account from scratch is that well, for one, the distance of the new couch and the distance from that to the TV is much better. Comfy setup.
Yeah, because you had the eyesight shit because you were actually far.
It was further than it was then recommended for the height of the couch, and now it's actually closer than recommended based on the space we have.
Yeah, good.
Regardless, that'll be fine. And then obviously that type of couch is not great for like sitting back-wise, like for a long time. These office chairs, shout outs to the Herman Millers, they're great for doing this, but couch-wise, what can you do? So I was looking.
You need to be able to hold hands and touch feet.
There you go. So I actually got I replaced the old couch, which was just like the kind that kind of cuts off below your shoulder type of thing, and I got what is essentially a theater seat couch, right? Mm-hmm. That we're going to be able to sit in and use for like longer, more comfortable, LPing. And what I want to do, which is not fully set up yet, is have it so that the table over here where I'm podcasting from, cameras looking over at the background over here, just off camera is the LP, and if I need to, well, I brought the cube, right? The cube is still here.
Yeah.
But if I need to, it would be fantastic. What I'm going to do is wire it so that there's two. The HDMI that goes to the TV will also go to this desk, and if I need to play a PC game, I can sit at a desk with a mouse and keyboard, and like in theory, I can be here and he can still sit on the couch. We can split screen it, and we can literally just continue with the desk.
I have to tell you, man, because like I was like I had like a couch set up for years and years and years, right? And then upon getting a desk and a chair and like be able to have because we always had the keyboard in your lap and the mouse is like on whatever you can get a hold of, right? Night and fucking day difference. Just night and day. It's so much goddamn easier.
But of course, for me, I often am not playing games that use or require that, right? It's a once in a while thing. Most of the time, I want a controller anyways. So it's rare enough that it won't be an issue. But for the few times that like it's like, okay, well, time to pop in whatever, I don't know, Half-Life 2 or something. It's like, all right, well, now we've got the ability to split it up, an ideal, like, I'd super ideal would be the ability to like do a like dual. Well, anyways, I want it to be like the setup can be done from either place, right? So if I wanted to sit on the couch and podcast, I could, or if I want to LP from over here, I could. And so I just got to kind of finalize it, but that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Yeah. So it's going to be good.
Well, congratulations, man. I'm really happy for you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Now you get to enjoy all the wonders of home ownership, which is, hey, this break, who's going to fix it? Oh, yeah. I'm going to fix it.
That's correct. I got the best piece of advice ever in regards to this right off the bat, which was don't be a tenant in your own home.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, ooh, stop. Think about that for a second. Yeah, that's your problem now. You've got to deal with it. Don't act like you've got a landlord or something that's gonna to answer to / to figure out the problem. You got.
I have to say though, in my experience as a tenant, there's no difference. Because it was always like, call the landlord over and over and over and over and over. You gonna fucking fix this? You gonna fucking fix this? Okay, I'm gonna call somebody to come and fix this, and then I'm just gonna bill you.
Yeah.
And now I just skip the part where I talk to the landlord and I call a man to come over and help me.
Yeah, we had a bit of that. Fortunately, it was only a few things, but those few things lasted sometimes fucking months.
That shit with the pipes.
The pipes took the pipes was like half a year, and then there was the deck, which was literally from the time we moved in till the time we moved out. So, yeah, all that to say that this time around there's a laundry list of stuff, and I've been taking care of it. But for sure, I spent 6.5 hours last week at some point fixing a pipe for a toilet, just in a space that was like it's a closed toilet, and then the wall is right here, and your wrist can't possibly reach in the 2 inches between the wall and there, but you've got to do it anyway. And you're using a basin wrench, which is like the vertical style one, and you're using another type of wrench, which has a little like detachable piece to get in corners and shit. And I'm back bent, crouching over this thing, and it took that long, just turning off mains, tightening pipes, like it's crazy. And I'm like, all right, confirmed. Plumbing sucks. I would never want to be a plumber, right? I can confirm that.
Yeah, but you always need a plumber, so it's good work.
It's good work.
Young people out there, you want to do something the robots won't take from you. The plumbing robots can't take that from you yet.
But conversely, outlet over there was dead, so trip to Home Hardware or Home Depot, whatever that we have, and Punch Mom just did a little scrolling, got some tips on it, and went, oh, okay, cool, got this. Bought our replacement socket outlet, and kill the main, pull the outlet, do the replacement, and it's a lot of it is a lot of that is just like, oh, I learned how to do this already from stripping wires and shit, because you do that for building a stick.
Arcade stick shit.
Exactly, right? So you're just like, oh yeah, we've done this. Put it in, bend the screw, crimp it, yada yada, and in this case, we're like, oh, well, if we're putting an outlet in the wall anyway, why don't we get one of those ones with a USB charger built into it?
Why not?
And we're like, oh, well, we can fucking start doing things and making this place pretty cool, especially since whatever I'm doing to it is for me.
No one's gonna stop you.
Yeah, it's literally...
Now the only problem with that, there's only one problem with that, Woolie, and that's whatever you want to do to it, no one will stop you.
No, they won't. They can't. They can't. But
that's both the blessing and the curse.
Yes, but it's for me to live with and enjoy for the foreseeable future, and I don't have to worry about who comes after me in any. Well, I still, you never.
If you ever want to sell it in the future, you don't want to do some insane shit like let's put shitty carpet on all these hardwood floors.
Of course, no. You want to do the opposite, which is what I did, which is, hey, can you redo the floors? Right, and they're like, yeah, sure, and we're like, all right, I'll get around to that at some point, and everyone's like, no, you either do it before you move in, or you're gonna have to get everything out of the way and have a horrible time waiting a week after you're redoing the floors, like when you're already living there, and it's like, oh fuck, right? Because how do you get everything off the floor? You have to move out, so it's like, do you want to really move out and then move back in floor by floor? And then it takes sometimes multiple days for like the wood finish to dry and shit like that, and you're like, okay, so
that is like the most awkward part of buying a house. Like it's the most awkward part of selling a house, and it's also the most awkward part of buying a house. Like, hey, can you change this? I don't want to. Change it. Now.
Yeah. You have to do that. It's quite interesting because like they basically tell you like I think, what is it? It's like if you take your whatever you're expecting your mortgage to be for the year, 25% of that is going to be spent on like touch-ups the first year you move in right away.
Yeah.
So and like then there's always those things that people talk about with the creeping costs and the unexpected surprises, and we've got things here like we got the welcome tax possibilities, right? You've got the
talking to people about that in BC, right? So I'm buying a house in BC, and they're like, do you guys have a welcome tax? And the guy's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, I don't know. It's just a tax they just charge you, and I don't know what it's for.
Do you know why?
And no one knows what it's for.
It's the reason why it's called the welcome tax is because that translates to the tax bienvenue.
Yeah.
And bienvenue was the name of the politician who invented it.
Get the fuck out.
Swear to God.
That's the weirdest way around that. That's the most bizarre etymology.
So bienvenue in French is welcome. Therefore, it translates to the welcome tax.
Yeah, so to those of you who are unaware, the welcome tax in Quebec is, did you buy a house? Here's a tax. What's it for? Shut up.
It's the fucking bat in the palm staring at you outside the window tax. Yeah. No. Yeah. There's honestly like there's all kinds of things like that in different places though. Like I know obviously some places you move there's like a HOA that is just like draconian. Like you might move into a neighborhood where the homeowners association is goose stepping down the road, and you might be concerned about that. Yeah, so it can get pretty trash depending on your situation. But anyways, whatever. At the end of the day, it's one where as many people have said, it's like, yeah, at a certain point too, like it's just kind of it's an impossible market, but if you can end up not paying rent towards nothing as opposed to towards yourself, then that's a better outcome, right?
Yeah, well, we're very lucky. We're very, very lucky.
And I kind of looked at it and was just kind of the entire process too was just one of like, but how is anyone supposed to do this? And the answer is just
they don't. Like so
rent it
most
from
folks
BlackRock when they buy that house in the future.
Yeah. God, for Canada, you have the first time a buyer incentive, right? Supposed to help, but like that shit is now outdated and too old. Like it's not enough to help anybody who it's supposed to help.
Yeah, it's interesting too because like the things that I found out in the process were. So like they've made moves to so one of the things that has happened. So you've got companies like BlackRock, as I mentioned, which are just like, hey, we're just gonna buy up houses and then we're gonna like rent them to you in the future when there's none left. Enjoy. And then there's the other ones where they're like people outside the country are buying places and then not living in them and just kind of like using them as property to invest in.
When we were selling the house, we had those guys coming around.
Yeah,
and right. they were all like, "Gum, like, oh, gross! You are disgusting to talk to."
Yeah, their whole move is, as you can imagine, it's just like, oh yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna be way over there across the planet, but like I'll drop some money over here on that, and anyone who might need it, go fuck yourself, right? Um, the interesting thing is that like while there's I guess behind the scenes in a way, there's been tons of like legislation that's passed to kind of like fuck over those people in a way that it's like if you purchase or sell a house but you're not actively like from the air there and living there in any way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just an empty thing, then like they tax the shit out of you, and they put a
Mm-hmm.
huge like thing, so they basically try to disincentivize that from happening. But if the person's rich enough, it doesn't fucking matter,
No, they'll eat
right?
the tax and then they'll sit on the land for 20 years and then the value will go up and it doesn't matter.
So instead of making, so like it's like, oh, you do that to disincentivize it, but then it doesn't make the actual place any more accessible to people who need it, right? It just literally like it's just an inconvenience for the owner, or the seller at the other end of it. But like if you're still shopping, you're still getting fucked over. So it's like there's things where they're like, oh, they'll step in and kind of fix that and deal with that.
No, they won't.
But well, no, from the inside the transaction, but from outside
Oh,
the
yeah.
transaction, you're still fucked as a buyer. So like, yeah, it's obviously, I mean, whatever, like, yeah, Woolie versus the housing market. There's no surprises here. Guess what?
Hey,
It's
guess
fucking
what?
terrible.
The housing market is vicious as fuck.
It's garbage.
And like the process of buying and selling a house introduced me to some of the worst people I've ever met in my entire life. Just like, oh, shake the hand and then just like gross, disgusting
As
oil person just made out of grunge.
as an actual real estate agent once said, it's a real knife fight out here. it's a knife fight. That was the description. Yeah. Anyway, so
I'm talking about the friendly transaction of homes and shelter. Why are you describing it as a knife fight to the death?
yeah. But anyway, that aside, the nightmarish transactional portion is over. Well, not really, because hey, guess what? Yeah, shout outs to a mortgage. Shout outs to
The transaction that will follow you for many years.
Equity. That's equity now. But no, but at the very least, it's like, okay, cool. Let's just like put the cool statues up and try to set up the recording thing, and I'd work on hammering nails into walls and figuring it out. So and this is all simultaneously to checking in constantly with the scientists and doing my program and all that, which is,
You seem stressed.
It's a lot.
Is the anti-diabetes juice not working? No, I'm stressed for other reasons. Give him more of the anti-diabetes juice.
yeah, they have like basically when they're checking your intake and going, okay, on days when you come in for a workout, you're gonna have to take an extra like a protein bar or shake or whatever, and that I'm like, okay, well, I didn't go for an official workout, but I did spend like 8 hours lifting boxes upstairs, and
That's more than enough.
and then a giant couch down a flight of down multiple flights of from the 6th floor down. Like it's like, yeah, that's a workout. My Fitbit says it's a goddamn workout. I'm taking my fucking extra calories, But no, that's all still happening at the same time. So it's been quite a wondrous and an interesting time, week especially.
Let me ask you: have you run into your neighbors?
Not like in person yet, but I mean, I'm in contact. But I've been in contact with the nearby folks that are around, at least through digital formats.
Because I'm like, so you haven't horribly embarrassed yourself in front of your new neighbors yet?
Not yet, and we'll see pending today how that goes. Hopefully, there should be no way. Well, okay, there should be no way
Should
for
be
that
no
to happen
Oh,
yet.
come on.
We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. At the end of the day, I have a pretty weird name that's Googleable, and who knows who's clicking what where. But I also have another thing where it's like the place has a decent number of windows, and a lot of them are not like curtained yet. So there's a little bit of just like, all right, neighborhood, well, it's all out there. And just give us a second to get on top of that. But until then, hi everybody.
It's like that. It's like, hey.
Well, not too bad, but like in certain areas, there's tactical vantage points, where I'm like, all right, we need to get our curtains up pronto. Yeah. So
at the old place, there was a window that faced the street that like we just never undrew the curtain once because it was like right outside the bathroom, and it was like somebody walking away. They're not in the yard, but they're on the sidewalk and they can look in. And if I'm coming out of the bathroom with no pants because I just fought a battle, like right in.
Yeah.
And like, no, that fucking window is never ever. It might as well be a wall.
Yeah. No, there's a couple of like really nice views type of thing where it's like, okay, well, like this is a wall right here that's like glass, and it's like it's a nice thing to look out on. And then when it's dark, everyone's looking in on you, And I'm also like up really late, so
yeah,
it's gonna be something where, again, if it I'm gonna have to figure this situation out a little bit. But anyway, no, whatever. It's
that feeling of like walking away from your house and it's dark and you look at what your house looks like when the lights are on with no blinds, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm closing that forever. Everyone can see my nipples. I don't care for it.
Not great. But yeah, no, that's the deal, and ended of an era too, because I really loved the last place. Oh,
it was fantastic.
That place fucking ruled, and it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, never gonna get it like that again. But like, thanks for the memories, and almost as if in perfect like I guess thematic appropriate nature, the burger joint nearby to that place that opened up not too long after we got there closed.
Oh no!
The literally as we were walking away for the final time, we went, what? It shut down? And it's like,
Did you like go there often and they saw you were leaving? And they were like, well, fuck it, we're done?
Like they made it through the pandemic, up until this point, and then like the final time I was walking away, I was like, what the fuck? Burger joint's gone.
It's like, Woolie, without your business, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't.
So, I mean, I take it as a symbolic, right? End of an era. That's the dove flying away. So, sad to that, but I mean, at the same time too, like there's a bunch of places where like I look back on my favorite joints from like the previous addresses I used to live at, and the nearby like just like small little fun spot, really good quality, but just barely making it, and it's like, oh yeah, like more than half of those just are gone forever.
Oh, they've evaporated.
Super dead, super duper dead. Yeah, it sucks because it's just like I used to like I have a list of like all my favorite spots, but like the old go-tos just died off real real quick, like at the beginning of 2020, and then some stuck around and made it till now, but still couldn't, figure it out past this year. So, anyways, changes.
Well, again, congratulations. I'm fascinated to see. This is Reggie's still coming over, right?
I
was about to say, I'm excited to see you and Reggie sitting around. And I'm like, Reggie's still coming over, right?
Yeah, if he takes a couple buses and hikes to the top of a mountain, maybe. No, he'll be here.
Oh, thank God. Because I like this back and forth, I think works extraordinarily well, like over a distance. But you need to be you and Reggie need to be close. You need to have physical romantic proximity.
There is a required proximity, and I think his naivete / absolute degenerate filth.
I don't get him at all.
You need to be in the room to feel it. Yeah.
Like, the fucking the chaotic evil to lawful good.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I don't know where because he's not neutral, but he's ping-ponging between I don't know.
Well, it's pretty, like, it's pretty straightforward in that it's like he is casual as far as video games are concerned, and new game plus dark expert as far as deep fetish goes. So
I've never heard the term deep fetish, and I regret hearing it.
I think I just invented it, but here we are. There's just all the time that was spent not playing and learning about the video game shit that we know was spent on other things.
Learning about weirdo shit. Got it.
So there we are. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, so obviously not a ton to talk about outside of what I just did. And that'll continue. The setup tweaking is gonna, things might change a little bit here and there, camera, yada yada. I got this into shape for today, but I still want to perfect a couple of things.
That's the most fun part of, like, okay, I'm moving in secret. Now to turn on all this equipment and get it ready for this time.
Yeah. Here, let me see if I can show you some of the unused tech for a second. Let's see if I do this.
Right, okay. Hello, Big Woolie.
And then I do...
What's he gonna do? Who could know? Oh, fuck, I just closed Discord. Hello?
Don't do that.
Oh, no, now I'm stuck in... Okay, I did it. What the hell? Oh, fuck yeah! That's great. It's not super convincing, but it's pretty good.
Oh, wait, they can't see that because it's Discord.
So to those of you... Oh, you can't... Yeah, pull it back up. So to those of you who can't see at home, because you're listening to the audio one, Woolie is masking his old layout as behind him, as if he hadn't moved, but there's a little bit of weird pixelation going on.
Of course there is. Let's see.
It's funny. I had the same idea with the stone background, but like I couldn't get it to fucking work. I just couldn't get it to work for shit. It looks so obviously fucking fake. Oh my god, Woolie. Oh, we're both in your old house. Oh my god.
Oh well, you're seeing. Okay, you're seeing.
That's even weirder.
They're not seeing, but yeah. Okay, you gave it a shot as well.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it to work. I don't have the Photoshop abilities that you do, definitely. But
I mean, it's really just the stupid Discord fucking auto green screen thing.
Yeah, I know. But like the place that I was staying at before moving into this place, like, had the window facing it, and the lighting just made it go completely fucking nuts. Why am
Okay.
I? Why am I? What is this?
Oh no, because they couldn't see it.
Oh, you're
So
taking a screenshot of the screenshot?
yeah, so basically this I'm just showing the
God,
stream what I
this is so
did,
strange.
right? Which is only on the Discord side. So as you can see, that is what the tech was set up to be. But then there were some difficulties. But not too bad, right? That kind of works a little bit. Anyway,
It would have passed at a glance if you just were like, hey, internet's a little fuzzy today, yada yada.
yeah,
Oh, hey, how's the internet?
it's great.
Because like the place you were at before, like every now and then there'd be like, and it was like, oh darn.
Yeah, it's great. So far so good. I've also done some tests and saw no hiccups. We'll find out over time, I suppose.
Did you upgrade to a Wi-Fi 6 system?
I did not. Um, we'll see what's necessary, but for now, seems pretty good. If anything, what I'm looking forward to is I bought a whole bunch of cable management like tubing,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna just run that shit all over
in the wall.
all
Or
over on the walls, not in the walls.
because in the walls is like, because I've talked to guys who've thought about it and it's like, oh wow, that's crazy. US Ethernet port coming right out of the wall, wow. And then it's like, what if something happens to the cable?
Exactly, right. And there are holes in the wall, like in some places where the previous owners ran a TV with the wiring through the old way when they mounted it.
Okay, so you know it's doable.
But yeah, but it's also like, but I don't like that. That sucks. Like I'd much rather it be accessible, because if something goes wrong, I'm not fucking going inside the walls.
Like right out of view on my setup is a cable nightmare, but it's a cable nightmare I can access in 1 second.
Exactly. And seeing as like, okay, so USBs have improved quite a bit. USB-C, right? Both sides, pretty good. Overall sturdy. And if anything goes wrong, it takes damage on the wire and not the port. Fantastic. Ethernet cables, still garbage. Still absolute trash. And
Literally like no improvement in forever.
the stupid little fucking plastic tabs still break and
Okay, how many times you snap that off?
I mean, I tried
I want
not
to say
to
like 4 times for me.
because they then they just fall out completely, right? So like I just kind of am like, well, fucking time to get a new wire if it ever really is just like hanging loose.
Hey, you know what, man? If those wires are hanging loose, you know what you need to do? Just switch on over to Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Can't have a loose wire then.
yeah, exactly, yeah. No, I so that's the thing is like if I'm gonna be running that shitty type of cable into the walls, get the fuck out of here.
Oh no, insane,
You know.
insane. I would not. I would be absolutely convinced that the cable would be destroyed before the in my mind it's like, oh, we've routed the cable and you go to plug it in and the cable don't work because it broke or got crimped in a fancy way
Exactly.
during the install.
Yeah. Not to mention, like pulling some wiring out and it gets stuck on a stud, So then I'm like, I have to get a hanger, straighten it, and then like guide it up through the wall. And then, oh, is that a stud? I hope it's a stud and not cabling for electricity for something else. Because
Just
there's live
careful.
fucking electricity
Careful.
behind the wall sometimes as well. Yeah, like it just fuck that. Like just there's nothing wrong with some nice clean cable management, and you put your group them
You know what this
together
reminds me of?
and just run them all over.
When I moved in, I replaced the hot water heater because it was slightly older, right? So I'm like, okay, get a new hot water heater, right? And that's like a 3-man job. That's like big man with water heater. So they come in and do it, and they're going through the process of like turning off the fuses to make sure they don't kill themselves. And one guy's switching. Well, is it off? I think so. Are you sure? And they're like, they look at me like, can we just turn the whole house off? I'm like, yes, you can just turn the whole house off. Just go, just go ahead, flip the main breaker.
Oh God!
And
Of course, yeah. Everything we did, we turned the whole house off.
And I'm just thinking, like, I don't trust myself to be responsible in this situation if I'm messing with the innards of my house with live
Okay.
electricity. Anything that I do, I will turn the whole house off.
Yeah, yeah, all of it. The whole house comes down, right? And then you have your stud finder, and then you put it to your chest and you go, huh? And then you, yeah,
It's required.
yeah, and then
Got one right here.
and then you can do that and see where the where it says it detects a signal, and then you also can get a plug tester to plug it in and plug it into an outlet and go, is there anything coming through this? No, all right, however, you do still want to know you see the things that you might not know, being a basic YouTube electrician, though, is that like you're like, okay, well, now we're not using this phone slot, right? The old literally landline pre-ethernet, so let's cover this over. And you go to work on that and you're like, okay, well, we turned the house off, but oh wait, that's hooked up to the phone lines outside. That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with your breaker. So that's always live.
Always.
Yeah.
Phone line is always live, even during most power outages.
Even if you don't have like service in some cases, right? So absolutely. That's the little things you need to know. Not everything in your house is necessarily going to be what's the term? A hot open.
Yeah.
Right. If you hit your main and you turn everything off, then everything should be hot open, but your phone line might not be. So
hey, let me ask you something. So you've only been there, what, 4 days, 5 days? Right?
I mean, I've been ushering things back and forth.
No, but I mean, like, you're sleeping there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I don't know if this happens to everybody else, but to me, once I've moved a location that I'm going to be living, it takes me, like, I wake up just violently fucking disoriented, like, for many days in a row. Like, wake up, like, oh, what? No, this is, I live here. Okay, I live here now. Do you have that at all?
Not even a single bit, because every day ends on A, reduced calories, B, extensive workouts, and C, massive home restructuring and moving. I am so dead at the end of the day that I just corpse.
Oh no, I'm talking about waking up in the morning.
Yeah, but when I wake up, it's like no. I'm waking up from the sleep of the dead, and it's a slow, gradual, just like no, I'm almost still tired. Like, I don't have any of that whatsoever, because like the tiredness reminds me immediately of what I just did. It's not a thing. Yeah.
That's okay, because like I had that when when we took a little trip out to Tofino, I had that where I woke up in a hotel. I'm just like, where? What? Like I move locations with confusion.
Yeah, it's just no. I'm burning the candle at both ends and getting a fucking dead ass sleep out of it. And then waking up. If I sleep normally or lightly, like I might have time to think and feel those things. But I just wake up like, okay, I got 25% of my battery out of that. I'm not back to 100, and I won't be for a while. But what can we do with this 25%? Let's figure it out.
I feel bad because like we're describing this. I had such a great night's sleep last night. I was just, I was like, I just slept so well, and I wake up and I look over at Paige, and when you wake up and the wife is already awake, and it's the look on their face of like they've been up for a bit, like, hey, what happened? The cat just decided to run around on top of our heads and go back every hour on the hour. And I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. Didn't wake me up at all. Oh, good morning.
Roll the dice. Yeah.